Hey, sports porchers, it's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back with analysis of the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Dallas Stars. Well, this evening, the Pittsburgh Penguins play the Dallas Stars, and I'm sad to say that the Pittsburgh Penguins were not successful in trying to get 2 wins in a row. They lose to the Dallas Stars tonight by a score of 6-3. And unfortunately, our Stars, that means Crosby, that means Malkin, we're not playing in this game. And, Dallas gets back Mikko Rantanen, and it really was a missed opportunity. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins could have had a better outing, but just took too many penalties tonight. And let's just break it down for what it is. Rantanen and Robertson were in, so that means bad things for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Dallas has the NHL's least amount of goals given up. So, if they score more than 4, they're going to win for sure. I mean, 2 of those were empty netters, but no Sitter Gino. McGroarty got called up, so the kid line was back in effect. That's Koivunen, McGroarty, and Kindle. Country night at PPG was not successful, and Stu was in. So back-to-back games for Stu, and not a great showing tonight, but he wasn't the reason they probably lost. So let's pick it up in the first. Letang gets tripped. They get a power play, and Carlson just remains on fire. Absolutely on fire, Erik Karlsson. He is just unbelievable right now. Everything he does just creates opportunity. And tonight he put a shot on goal, and Mantha just tipped it right in. 1-0, the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's their first goal that they've scored to take a 1-0 lead since Winnipeg a week ago. So, you're feeling pretty good about it, but Dallas is going to score. And of course, they didn't in the first period. The first period was really weird because Dallas ended up with 3 power plays in the first period. But I thought the Pittsburgh Penguins, for the most part, took it to them. They looked fast. They were beating Dallas to pucks. Dallas didn't look interested in wanting to play. And, unfortunately, they only got 1 goal. So that's the thing about hockey. When you play really hard, but you only score 1 goal, that's usually a problem. And that seems dumb to say because, if you could just keep that momentum going, then you'll be fine. But, man, in the second period, my goodness, the second period, how many goals were scored in the second period? 5 goals scored in the second period, 4 of them by Dallas, 1 by Pittsburgh. First, it was Dallas to get on the board. I don't even know what to say. The kid line had a bad outing on this goal. Stu was being maybe a little bit too aggressive on the play, and 1-1 just like that. But Karlsson to the rescue. Karlsson had a bar down shot. And you know what? At that point, Pittsburgh Penguins only had 5 shots on goal, but they had 2 goals. And like I said, pretty weird because I really thought the Pittsburgh Penguins were, all over the ice in the first period and then in the second period. But the thing is, like in the first period with 3 power plays, you're not going to generate a lot of opportunities. I think that's what happened. Just way too many penalties for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Wotherspoon had a really bad penalty right at center ice. This is the 4th power play. And Dallas took advantage. Robertson just absolutely sniped it right from the slot. He made it 2-2. And there was really no looking back after that. Another power play comes up. Soderblom got a high stick, and the Rantanen just one-timed it. What a great pass. Rantanen's back for the Dallas Stars. If you're a Dallas Stars fan and you see Rantanen back on the power play and you see that one-timer, Stu actually got over. I thought he actually almost saved it, which was surprising because it was a snipe. But he didn't get it. So, that makes it 3-2. And then what a weird play on the 4th goal. Okay, let me break it down for you. Essentially, it was just some cycling going on. Bishop comes from behind, absolutely grabs Erik Karlsson's stick. Karlsson recognizes that, he's grabbing his stick. He drops it. Bishop goes to the point. Karlsson's looking at the ref like this. The ref's like, he wasn't paying attention. If you look at the replay, the ref was not watching what was going on with Karlsson, neither refs, because at that point, when Bitchell drops his stick, the other ref behind him is kind of shaded, but when he grabbed it, he absolutely could have seen that he grabbed his stick, and you could hear Karlsson on the television coverage. You could hear Karlsson yelling, screaming f bombs about the ref, grabbing my stick, and before you know it, it's in the back of the net. And unfortunately, that was it. 4-2. That really kind of did it. And at that point, Dallas is out shooting us, the Pittsburgh Penguins, 18-7. And Pittsburgh did get a power play at the end, but Soderblom got his, basically somebody put a stick right in Soderblom's skate, but they didn't really get anything out of it. And in the third, there was really a bunch of nothing for, about 13 minutes. And then Ben got a penalty. He pulled down a guy. And then Karlsson, once again, one time pass. You got to see the move he put on this guy right at the blue line. Just absolutely incredible. One times it over to Soderblom. Soderblom just blasts it from, pretty much the dot on the right-hand side, and it goes in 4-3. So you're feeling pretty good. You're like, okay, maybe we can make it. Maybe we can make it happen. But, with about 3 minutes left, the Pittsburgh Penguins pull their goalie. I thought maybe it was a little too soon. Maybe not too soon. I thought it was too soon. Anyway, they get an empty net, and they get another one after that. So that's all she wrote. That's what it was about. And, the one thing I do want to show, because Erik Karlsson really, was just absolutely going nuts about it. I want to play Erik Karlsson's post-conference words, because I think they're absolutely worth it, because at first what he does is he says the right thing, right? He'll say the right thing, and then wait till the end, and then he's got a little zinger. Let me add old Eric to the stage here. Let's hear what he has to say.
What happened on their fourth goal when you had your stick taken from you?
Yeah, I think we saw what happened. I don't think it does me any good or us any good by standing here and having excuses or pointing fingers. We all watched the same game. I think it was a winnable game for us today. Ultimately, we didn't do the work. They're a good team for a reason, and they showed that today. But, it's unfortunate that, special teams, I think, was a big factor for them and a big letdown for us today.
Was the special teams that really limited the shots? Is that why we saw the shot totals what they were?
Yeah, I think it felt like first period. I think we had a good period. We played a lot more 5-on-5, and then second period it felt like we were killing the whole period. And
yeah,
obviously, that doesn't generate us any offense. So I think we got going into third again. Unfortunate that. We couldn't pull through all the way to the end. But again, we unfortunately didn't do enough today to win. I think it was a winnable game for us, the way it was played. But, kudos to them. They did a good job. They stuck with it longer than we did. And, they're a good team for a reason.
I know you don't want to dwell on what happened on their fourth goal, but did you get an explanation from the officials on why it wasn't called?
You don't get that, usually, from certain guys at least.
You usually don't get that from certain guys, at least. Well, a little zinger there for Karlsson at the end, just saying it like it is. I don't think he had much very good things to say about that referee. And, the Pens really have been snake bitten, I think, with some of the ref calls. But you can't let that slow you down in the NHL, okay? You're going to get some calls for you. You're going to get some calls against you. And that's just the way it works in NHL. You just have to work through it 100%. But tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins couldn't work through it. They lose 6-3. 2 empty net goals for the Dallas Stars. They actually break their 3-game losing streak. So kind of a big win for Dallas to get back on the winning streak. the bad thing is they lost to the Islanders earlier, and today the Islanders won, so they jump ahead of us. They're in second place in the Metro, and unfortunately for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Columbus Blue Jackets lost. They're winning 2-1 against San Jose Sharks. But the Sharks came back to win that game 3-2 in a regulation. So that's good for the Pittsburgh Penguins. That keeps them in that third spot. But I can't tell you loudly enough how important the game Monday is against the New York Islanders. Huge game. Absolutely huge game. The Pittsburgh Penguins do have one game on hand still on the New York Islanders, so they can make up some time. But if the Islanders win in regulation, they're 3 points ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins. That doesn't mean they can't catch them, okay? I'm not saying that, but for the next week, that's going to be a big win for the Islanders if they can do it. If the Pittsburgh Penguins can even get 1 point and only stay 2 points behind the Islanders, if they get 2 points and the Islanders get one and they're tied, that's a win. That's an absolute win for the Pittsburgh Penguins. A huge game. I'm actually going to go to that game Tuesday here in Pittsburgh versus Detroit because, once again, another huge game. Not as much. It's more about the wild card when it comes to Detroit because they're in the Atlantic. They can't catch us in the Metro. I prefer to be second or third in the Metro, and I'm sure the Pittsburgh Penguins do. That would mean playing against Columbus or the New York Islanders, and not that we have great luck against the New York Islanders in the playoffs. We don't. We actually play very poorly against them in the playoffs. But here's the deal. Penguins are at 88 points. They need 6 wins. They got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games. If they can get 6 wins, no matter who they play against, okay? No matter who they play against. If they can get 6 wins and they can get to 100 points, they'll be in the playoffs. So don't get too concerned if they lose at the Islanders, but they beat Detroit because they only need 6 wins. Okay, 100 is the magic number at this point. Hey, thanks for stopping by. If you want to know who I am, I'm your hockey Jesus. Me and the boys have a website. We have a podcast called The Sports Porch. We get together every Monday, 7 o'clock, the 3 of us. We're college buddies. I am a huge hockey fan. That's why I'm coming to you after every single Pittsburgh Penguins game. If you like what you're hearing, smash that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Really helps us out here on the porch. And we appreciate everything you do. So, hey, I'll see you Monday.